Hello. Here I am. I don't really have much except I've been reading a lot of books, and so I am going to do a book review. I'm in a book club. I read books, I listen to books, I write books. So I thought I'm sitting on the floor. Hold on, sit on the floor here so you can see some of my bookshelf. I'll show you it all. My little bookshelf here. Books I've read, books I need to read. See all these books? There's probably half of these books I still need to read, maybe more. So I put out a survey. So if you're watching this, I'm going to do this again. Okay, here we are. Whoa, what did I do? Who knows what I did? Can you hear me? I think you can. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so book review. This is probably the crappiest book review. I've done a couple. I'm going to give it my shot. This is my version. I have a little questionnaire that I made, so I'll be asking the questions and answering the questions for you. The book is not a normal, I'm like a mystery, thriller, that kind of book. I do like a romantic book. I like funny books. This has a little bit of politics in it, which not too bad and not from America. So maybe it works out great because I'm just not a politic person and I don't like talking about it. But it was okay to read because it was intertwined with the rest of the book and not so much the main story, if that makes sense. I'm going to bury my head in the sand and just tell me when to panic kind of person. So anyway, without further ado, so the book is called The Lion Women of Tehran by, I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Marjan Kamali. And it is like a coming of age fiction type book with a political saga mixed in, if that makes sense. Good book. Did you hear my hip? Woo. It's kind of like the vibe is like friendship, love, like I said, coming of age, living in trying times, that kind of thing. The protagonist this is the hook that got me to be like, oh, what the hell is this about? That kind of thing. So the protagonist reads a letter from a friend that she hasn't talked to in years. She thought the friend was pissed at her and didn't want to talk to her. So she opens the letter, reads the letter, and it brings back the floodgates of memories. And the book kind of jumps back to when they were kids, how they first met. It ended up being her childhood best friend that she has now become estranged from. So I'll say, I don't want to get too much. I could talk about it like crazy because we've all had these type of situations happen to us, whether it be when they were in elementary school, where their friendship first started, to middle school, to high school. So they're best friends, very different, like different backgrounds. I don't know if you've ever had, I've been the friend that my friend's mom is like, oh, do you really want to hang out with her? I've been that friend, and I've had my parents say, oh, do you really want to hang out with that? So it's gone both ways. And we were able to stay friends through all that most of the time. Maybe not to anyone's benefit, but most of the time, yes. Okay. So best friends, very different. It didn't matter to them. It only mattered to the protagonist's mom in the story. But anyway, so this takes place through the years and like as they're growing up and how they were brought up and the differences between. And the book talks about communism in that country and what happens when you are one, if you are friends with one, that kind of thing, a communist. So which I didn't know. So it was pretty cool to find all this out. Lots of cool little, I don't know if they're real locations or not, but they talk about the bazaar and how they snuck out of school and snuck in there. And one of the girls had money from her birthday and they went and bought ice cream sandwiches and just that kind of fun stuff. I love all that kind of growing up, those memories that we all have similar memories like that. So that was really cool. I guess what stood out to me and where I related was how close you can become with someone with a very, very different personality, and how it works so well together, if that makes sense. So just because you like all the same things doesn't mean that your personalities are the same. Like I tend to, well, I'm friends with both people that are a lot like me and then friends that are the opposite, and both ways really work together. And so it was fun to kind of the other friends that are intermixed in the story and how the interactions are. It was very, very well made, very well written. Not that I'm a professional, but I'm an unprofessional, amateur, self-published writer. But okay, so true, the real life reflection is that true friends make it through everything, make it through times where they're not talking, make it through hard times. They're there for each other, whether they agree with each other or not. So that's something to think about. I always, sometimes if I pull away from someone, I'm not friends with them anymore. We need to do our thing, and then if it's meant to be, everything kind of flows, the paths cross when they need to. And anyway, let's see, favorite line or moment. So my favorite moment was when the main character moves to America for the time being, and her mom comes to visit, and her mom was very, very tough love, very almost narcissistic too, in a sense, like, this, I can't believe you did that, this affects me this way, and societal reputations and things like that. So the mom, when she comes to visit, she's very honest with her and comes clean on a lot of things that were going on with her as her daughter was growing up, watching this all transpire. And, she confesses what really was going on with her and her husband and her brother-in-law, I guess you could say. I won't go further. That sounded wrong, but you'll see when you read it. You got to read it. Just if you need a book that is just about friendships and family. Okay. So who this book is for? It's for women, it's for friends, coming of age, reminiscent, if you want to go back to memories of your childhood. This kind of pulls that in, like, I remember when I did that with so and so, and brings back school memories, that kind of thing. So going through life with friends, going through hard times with friends, getting support from friends, that's who this book, I would say, is for. If you like to know a little bit of the politics, there's a little bit of that in there if you like that. So there's that. You'll like this book if you've ever gone through a hard time or trying times or COVID, let's say, that kind of stuff with close friends, and how that all intertwines together. That's what it's all about. So my final take, it's a warm tale of friendship with side of hard times, plenty of struggle, and it keeps us hanging on and hanging in, I guess. I'm going to ask you a little call to action, participation. Obviously, you don't have to answer here or anything, but have you ever been advised from a parent or a spouse or a close friend? Have you ever been advised to stay away from someone because of how or where they're brought up, where they were brought up, or if you had ever been? So like me, I was the friend that the other's parent told them kind of, why don't you stay away from? But we didn't. We stuck together and things worked out. And then I believe her parents liked me okay later when they realized I wasn't a bad influence. I was just a tomboy. And then I've also had my parents come to me and say, you can't hang around with that person anymore. And I pushed back enough to be able to come to my own conclusions about people and grow close to certain people that I think my parents ended up really liking. So that's my question. Have you ever had that happen to you? And how did it work out? Do I talk to these people now? Not much. And, I live in different states, but I see them on Facebook and I like their stuff on Facebook. So not that I'm participating that much, but I'm just giving them a little bleep into, hey, I'm still here, blah, blah, blah. And I can go on and on about how, you can like someone and consider them a friend, even if you're just a Facebook friend. There's different levels of friendship. That's a whole other podcast, non-book review type deal. That's me. That's what I'm saying. Books. I just read another book. When I say read, I mean listened to one called The 20, and it's a scary book. And I just finished it. And it's a long, slow, drawn out book. I know that sounds bad, but it was good. It was torturous, makes you slow down. If you're not one to be able to slow down and you have to flip forward to the thing, then you might not want to read that book, but I'll get into that next time. So The 20, read it, and we'll discuss it maybe next week or next time I have time to record. So there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this and it wasn't too babbly, because you know how I do, but I will see you soon.